David Frangioni with Modern Drummer. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. It's good to see everyone here today.
Yeah, you as well. I want to talk about Modern Drummer, of course, but I want to talk about this new auction you've got going. I mean, you've got quite the auction here that you've teamed up with Golden.
Yeah, thank you. So there's a show on Netflix. It's in season 2 right now called King of Collectibles. And on episode 7, they were kind enough to include my wife and me and our former drum museum as part of the storyline. It's a great show, and the museum we had for almost 10 years. It was an incredible place to visit. And we just decided that as we're getting a little older in life and taking on other ventures, we wanted to downsize a little bit and share what we had in the museum with others who are just as passionate as we are. So Ken Golden, and the king of collectibles, the star of the show and the brainchild behind it, and Golden Auctions, of course, is his very successful company. They were recently sold to eBay, and we teamed up. And in addition to creating this great segment for the show, we also are auctioning off these items throughout the year. So it's not just one auction, but many auctions within which our items are a part of what's there.
Mhm.
And we're really excited about it. There's some incredible items that have taken me a lifetime to acquire, and to be able to share them is really awesome.
Well, right now, Eric Singer's drum kit that he used during the Kiss Motley Crue tour and a collection of sticks from the late Neil Peart are available. How can you tell us the stories behind those items?
Well, the Kiss kit is truly a one of one. I saw that kit in person, and I'd never seen, and since then I've never seen anything like it. Turns out that Eric had that kit custom made by Dale Flanagan, where he took the pearl shells that Eric was using and he hand applied mirror tiles one at a time. And it looks like, Swarovski crystals under light, just thousands of them. That's what it looks like. And it's just the most incredible looking kit. Paul Stanley of Kiss was quoted as saying that that is the greatest media kit that he's ever seen. And, because of what it looks like under lights, and what it looks like just on stage. So that kit's incredible, has the platinum symbols, and I got it directly from Eric. So it's only been owned by Eric and toured with Kiss and by myself. So it's really an extraordinary drum kit as a music memorabilia piece, and for any Kiss fan or anyone that just collects drums, it's amazing. And in the Neil Peart, there's a stick display that was made for ProMark with Neil, to display the R30 sticks, and there were only a few of them made. It's very, very rare, highly valuable. John Douglas, of course, very famous drum artisan and
Mhm.
drummer now with Aerosmith. He created it for ProMark, and came directly out of his collection. He's a dear friend of mine for many years, and it's really an awesome, very rare piece for Neil Peart fans.
Yeah, we actually had the pleasure of being in Vegas when his art gallery, John's art gallery, was opened. I think December of 22, and we got to chat with him on this show, and very talented. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Led Zeppelin symbols, but those are
Oh
like
yeah.
my favorite.
Oh, he's incredible. He is just an incredible artist, incredible person,
Mhm.
and very blessed to call him a friend.
Yeah. Now, as you said, you're auctioning this stuff throughout the year. We have it in the article, but we'd like to, share this on social media, of course. So, who else are you planning to auction kits from?
Well, we've got some incredible stuff. I mean, we have Louis Bellson. We have a Keith Moon Pictures of Lily reissue kit that's coming up very soon. We just auctioned a Joey Kramer of Aerosmith kit. Going to have something from Alex Van Halen.
Mhm.
Um, just the greatest drummers and the greatest drum kits. Carl Palmer, I mean, I can't wait for everyone to check this out. And you'll want to go to GoldIn.com and check out these auctions. They're pop culture auctions so that you can find them and follow them. And of course, they're always on my social media. So if you want to know exactly what I'm auctioning at any time, you just go to David Frangioni and you'll see it. And of course, being the CEO of Modern Drummer and the drum sets being such an important part of drumming, we share them at Modern Drummer, so you can find updates about any of the drum related items there.
Yeah, and I mean you've got quite the collection, of course. You mentioned Louis Belson. I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's a Facebook group I'm actually an honorary member of called the Louis Belson Drummers Collective, and it's fully endorsed by his family and a good friend of mine who used to do cartage in Nashville, Ken Brandt. He founded it, and he's really got that thing going. So there's quite a few people here that you cover or that you're selling because there's also Jeff Ochiltree. He's a member as well.
Oh,
Um,
fantastic.
so there's quite a few connections there that I think are pretty cool
Well, that's
about
great.
the auction that you've got going.
Well, thank you, buddy. The Louis Belson group's gonna flip over the Louis kits. They are just extraordinary.
Oh, I
His
bet.
famous Sammy Davis Jr. gold-plated Gretsch kit, one of one. It's got an incredible history and story. That kit with the Zildjian cymbals. I mean, these are just amazing kits. His gold Remo kit. There's just amazing Louis items. So I can't wait for the community to have a chance to own these cherished items.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to share this with them in there as well. Do you have any idea of like how often you're going to drop items?
Monthly, it's looking like. So every month there'll be a new item or two. Um, yeah. So you'll want to be checking my socials pretty often.
Awesome. Awesome. And how did you get to collecting all of these items? I mean, I know it's been a lifetime, but you just started just finding things and okay, I want to have that and then just making offers. Like, how did the collectible idea come about?
Well, I've been a collector, originally baseball cards as a little kid, 8, 9 years old. So I've always collected something. I think people are one brain or the other. They're either the collecting mindset or they just don't want to know about collecting and accumulating. And so I've learned over the years that it's one or the other. And I got the collecting bug. So it just grew into movie posters I became very passionate and interested in. I wrote 2 books of Clint Eastwood's films with Clint's consent and involvement called Clint Eastwood Icon and Clint Eastwood Icon Expanded and Revised Edition. Those were published from Insight, along with Crash, the World's Greatest Drum Kits. So I've always had a passion for collecting, and over the years have just acquired items that I thought were important, I thought were historically significant, that should be kept, that should be curated, um, and that I was passionate about. So that was the basis for it. And then it just got big enough that we combined what we're doing with Modern Drummer and the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame that runs every year in the Readers Poll with the Drum Museum. And we did that for a lot of years. We helped kids, we inspired them through my foundation, Frangioni Foundation, and we hosted a lot of great drummers who were so interested and excited to be able to play and get up close and personal with these drum kits. So it's really been quite a ride.
Have you personally played any of these?
Yeah, I've played all of them.
Really?
Yep.
What did it feel like to actually sit there and play a kit that Alex Van Halen owned or, Eric Singer? Like it's rare, of course, but probably besides their drum tech, you're probably the only other person to ever play it.
Yeah, it's true. And some of the drummers that visited the museum, we would let them play the kit, so they got a chance to experience the same thing that you're describing and asking about. Like you channel that drummer. You start to remember all the times that you saw that drummer either live or on video or heard them on a record, and you start channeling the things that inspired and in a lot of cases influenced each of our drumming. So it's really special and spectacular. I mean, there's nothing like it in the world. Just seeing the kit, any of these kits, it has so much mojo and so much energy. And then when you go to the next level, and you're actually playing it, it's really extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the Eric Singer kit that you mentioned earlier, and I'm sure this picture doesn't do justice for what that thing does. I mean, these
No,
things are most of these kits are one of a kind, and I don't think people realize that when they have a tour kit, sometimes they have multiple, but a lot of times that kit doesn't go beyond that tour. And
yeah,
I know that the artist will maybe store it or in fact, end up selling it like they did. And I believe I believe I heard and I'm not sure if it's through Golden or another auction house, but Alex Van Halen actually sold everything. Do you
he
know anything
did.
about
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I thought it was an amazing auction in June. It wasn't Drew Golden. But it was backstage auctions,
Hmm.
auctioned all of Alex's drums, and it was extraordinary. You know, the drum kit, the kits he sold, the cymbals, the platinum records, and to get that up close and personal was really something.
And which kit do you have?
We just sold the 2012,
Hmm.
and we're going to surprise people with the next kit of Alex that I have. We're going to do a big announcement, so I'll come back and I'll share with you exactly
Oh
what it
yeah.
is as soon as we roll it out. But it'll probably be the last Van Halen kit to ever see auction, is my guess. This next
Wow.
one will be the last one because there aren't any others.
Right.
That's it. He
Yeah.
sold his, we sold that one. I sold another one of his in 2021. And there's just, like you said, they're one of ones, and there's just none out there, and there never will be again.
And
Same with
it's
the Kiss kits. That's
yeah.
it.
And it's amazing how many years of kits or that Alex specifically sold, all at once or however he did it. Just the
Well, he
fact
only
that,
had two full kits in that auction because that's all that was left.
yeah,
The other kits didn't have cymbals or didn't have hardware or whatever. So there were only two full kits. And then I sold two full kits in 21 and just recently. And then we have one more full kit to go, and that's it.
they're amazing instruments. I've been playing since I was about four, and I've got a Pearl reference kit. I've got
Great
a
sounding kit.
yeah. I have an export kit that I've had since 91. I'll never get rid of. It was my not my first, but it was the first one my parents actually purchased for me. And then I've got a Roland high end, 50 or 703 C, kit here that I love. And have you always played or was drumming just something that you came into later in life?
No, I started playing from 2 years old. I've just been always passionate about drums and drumming, and it just
Hmm.
grew and grew and grew. My career ended up taking me on a trajectory of music technology and related, but I've always been a drummer at heart. I've always loved the drums, and I've studied over the years. I studied with Louis Bellson, I studied with Joe Morello, Alan Dawson, Les DeMuro, Rod Morgenstein, Don Famularo, God bless them. Some incredible, iconic drummers and drum educators, and it's really been a passion and still is. I think it always will be.
Yeah, and like I told you earlier, I've not played with anyone in over a decade, and I'm kind of okay with that, but it's still in my blood. Like I started doing the music news and website and stuff because music was still in my blood and drums. Anytime I could talk to a drummer, it's like takes me back, to on stage and things like that. What inspired, I mean, obviously your drumming inspired modern drummer, but when did you decide that was like something you needed to do?
Well, I had always been a subscriber and a fan and reader of Modern Drummer. Ron Spagnardi, who founded the magazine, passed away in the early 2000s, and his wife, Isabel, took over running it. And she reached out to me, 2019, about, would you like to consider taking over Modern Drummer. She's in her 80s at this point, and she really wanted a plan of how the magazine would continue and ideally prosper. Of course, it was Ron's
Mhm.
legacy, is Ron's legacy, and it's so important to the drum community. An over 45-year-old community. It's the oldest and will always be the most, historically significant drum magazine, encyclopedia, and community. It's where we celebrate drumming. The spotlight's not just on the lead singer or the lead guitarist with Modern Drummer, it's on the drummer. And that's what we're about, and that's what we celebrate, and we're very passionate about it. So when she contacted me, over the course of a year, we just got to know each other, and I got to understand the inner workings of what was happening at Modern Drummer, and it needed a lot of TLC. It needed, kind of a resurgence from its original initial life, where it was primarily a magazine, to being a brand that is celebrated as we celebrate drumming today. When Ron started the magazine and founded it in 1977, it was celebrated differently than it is in 2024 and beyond. So
Right.
we've made those adjustments, and the community's responded very favorably. And it's just an incredible, incredible community.
Now, I know with the technology and, everything's going digital, do you guys have any plans to
Oh,
con
we're 100% digital. The whole 550 issues are digitized, are available to our subscribers 24/7, 365. The current issue is not only published in print as a dual issue, because we publish monthly digitally, which you
Mhm.
can get as a subscriber, or you can go to Zinio and get the issue there. The digital newsstand pretty much everyone uses worldwide.
Right.
And then in addition to that, we take every two issues and we publish it in a combined issue that you flip over and you get, March, April, January, February, May, June, etc. So there's 6 printed issues that cover the 12 monthly issues. And that's allowed us to continue to give our community, the consumption that they want. They still want the print, but they also want monthly, and they also want, the podcast that we do, and the rundowns that we do, and the newsletters that we do, and all the things that we do to keep the community, alive and vibrant. There's nothing like drums and drumming, right? The
Right.
energy of drumming, just seeing a drum set on a stage before a drummer even gets behind it, has so much character and excitement and energy around it. And we celebrate that. And then when you actually hear a drummer and watch a drummer play, there's so much to be inspired and influenced by, so much to learn from, so much to enjoy. Just an incredible instrument that, that's what we're about.
Yeah. And yeah, that was my thing. Like, how has, digital affected the print industry? Because I work somewhere where they've stopped printing completely
Yeah, no,
because of
that's the
that. But
case. That's right.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the case in most cases.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of challenges and struggles, quite frankly, with the print side of it. But the community has spoken. They want it printed still. There's still enough people to make it a viable product in print. But the majority of our community, subscribers, readership, etc., is in the digital space, as you would imagine.
Right. And I'm sure that has also helped grow memberships
Yeah,
for
absolutely. Yeah,
subscribers. Yeah.
no, sure. The digital side of it is a must. We want to meet people where they want and how they want to consume.
Hmm.
And we all know that computers, phones, mobile devices, tablets, iPads, etc., that's where most people spend the majority of their time with technology and with reading, whether it's news or, whether it's online forums or groups, etc. That's where the audience is. So, we're there in very, very high numbers. We reach millions of drummers, and it's great. We love it, and our the drummers love it, and the audience loves it, and it's really worked out well.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I want to ask you about Modern Drummer Festival. I mean, are you guys gonna have one
It
this
is
year?
going to come back. For now, you can watch the 2020 Neil Peart celebration, his tribute festival, online on the Modern Drummer website, as well as the 2021 Modern Drummer Festival, which were the last two festivals. They were only virtual.
Hmm.
And we are looking at bringing it back. So it's something that the fans want, it's something that we want, and we will be doing another festival.
Yeah,
And
I
when we have details, you'll see it announced, on all of our socials, etc.
yeah, and we'll cover it here, of course, because I've got a few of the DVDs just because they're very entertaining and you learn a lot. Like I don't think people understand how much you can learn from these events.
You're absolutely right. And the 2020 and 2021 that you can get on the moderndrummer.com website, those are no exception. There's so much great content there. Lot to learn from, lot to be inspired by, and so many incredible drummers.
Yeah. Well, David, I appreciate you taking the time out with me. Do you have anything else that we didn't touch on that you wanted to add?
There's always so much. So please join me at David Frangioni, Modern Drummer, and you'll get all the latest news and events. And thank you for the interest in King of Collectibles on Netflix and the golden.com auctions that we're doing. So thank you for everything, buddy, and thank you
Oh,
everyone for tuning in.
absolutely. And we'll be sharing more when you have more of those auctions unveiled, and yeah, they're just amazing. And hopefully they'll go to a new owner that can appreciate it just as much as you do.
Thank you very much. I hope so too.